Good morning, beautiful people. We hope you're having a wonderful day. Welcome back to the market follow for today, the 7th of July, 2025. I'm excited to have you all here for today's market color. Today, we're going to be looking at the dollar index. We're going to be looking at GBP, US, Euro, USD, gold against the dollar. We're going to look at the yen basket and then GBP, JPY, as well as Euro, JPY to wrap up the market session for this morning. If you're totally new to the market color, this is the VFT's community where we share market analysis with all our community members, showing them where we think the market is going to and possible trades that we're looking out for today. I am CJ and I'm going to be taking you through the first part of today's market color. So sit tight, relax, and enjoy the rest of today's program as we commence. Starting off with the dollar index, we're looking at the dollar index from the weekly time frame, and we're seeing that the dollar index looks like it wants to get some breather back to the upside, retracing all the way to the upside as it has created some moves to the downside. Now we're expecting it to resume back to the upside. If we look at it on the daily time frame, we've been seeing signs of retracement. We've been seeing candlestick formations. We've been seeing low volatility to the downside. So we're suspecting that the dollar index could be trading back to the downside. Of course, we want to confirm that with our 4-hour time frame before we conclude. Now, if you look at the 4-hour time frame, you can see that that move really has started. So we can go back to the daily. So we'll draw a Fibonacci retracement tool. Now, the goal of drawing the Fibonacci retracement tool is to measure the points where we expect retracements to happen. So we can gauge to see if the retracement is over or price could just be starting out on the retracement. Now, as you can see, we only tapped 23.6% so far on the retracement. So we're expecting further moves to the upside on the dollar index because we want to see somewhere around 50 or even 61.8% level of the Fibonacci before we start seeing another round of sales. So with that, we can confidently say there is a clear retracement on the dollar index. So on the lower time frame, 4 hours, 1 hour, we'll be expecting bullishness moving forward. Okay, so here is the 4-hour time frame. As you can see, price has already started retracing. We're expecting it to retrace and fill up these gaps. You can see on its way to the downside, lots and lots of gaps were created. So before the dollar index resume its bullishness, we're expecting it to go and fill up this gap. For me, I expect this retracement to be very deep. So with that, I can conclude that I'll be expecting bullishness for the most of this week on the dollar index. Okay, so that is what I'm looking out for. I'm expecting bullishness on the dollar index for the most of this week. You can see that there are lots and lots of levels for the dollar index to get to. Now with this, we'll be expecting the opposite on pairs like GBP USD and Euro USD to be playing out. Of course, starting out with Euro USD, you can see that price has already made this expansion to the upside. Now we're seeing some form of rejection from that level on the weekly time frame. Now on the daily time frame, we can also see that there was clear buy side inefficiency here, where we saw only buys all the way to this level. There was no sell at all. So we're expecting that price should come back a little and mitigate all these moves to the upside. So for the daily time frame, we can also draw our Fibonacci retracement tool so that we'll see where we're expecting retracement to happen. All right, so on the 4-hour time frame, now you can see on the 4-hour time frame that price still has a long way to go. There's still a long way for price to get to before continuing its buy. One of the places I'm looking out for, I think you mentioned it a couple of days ago, but we're waiting for price to get there before it materializes. It's this other block right here. Okay, so we're expecting that other block to fill price and then send it back up, or this level right here. So either of these two levels will send price back to the upside, and we'll be waiting earnestly to see how that is going to play out. Now, with this being said, I'm expecting a sell, a clear sell on Euro USD for this week. Okay, I'm going to be going bearish on Euro USD for the most of this week. Of course, as this day has started already, you can see that the sell has already commenced. So I'm looking for where I'm going to see a good entry for price before I take my sell on Euro USD. One of the places I'm considering right now on Euro USD is to see a possible retracement into this level here, and then I'll be selling it to the downside. If I see a retracement into here, the stop loss is going to be somewhere here, and then take profit. Of course, would want to get at least 1:3. So we'll be looking at somewhere around here as our take profit on Euro USD. Okay, so this is the trade I would want to take on Euro USD. The stop loss is about 10 pips, so it's quite tight, and something that anyone with even a very small account should be able to take advantage of. So should price retrace into this level here, I'll be taking my sell on Euro USD and shorting it all the way to the downside. So this is the entry point. So my entry is around 1.17644. My stop loss is at 1.17750. My take profit is at 1.17200. So I'm selling Euro USD this morning, and this is my setup for the day. Okay. So one more thing, we're looking at this. All right. So this is how I expect price to play out today. So you can replicate this and do your own analysis. If it aligns well, then let's take the trades together and let's make the most of it. All right. So that is that for Euro USD. Now let's move over to GBP USD and see the possible trades that we can get on GBP USD. Now looking at GBP USD, you can see that it's already started making its own retracement compared to what Euro USD is doing. And this is giving me more confidence knowing that I could take a good sell on Euro USD and come out profitable at the end of the day, okay? So for GBP USD, let's take a look at it on the weekly time frame. On the weekly time frame, you can see that the retracement has already started. And then if you move to the daily time frame on GBP USD as well, you see that the retracement has already gone ahead to tap the 50% mark. And we might be expecting it to get all the way to 61.8 or so, because price is not looking to buy any moment from now. You can see that we had this fair value gap here on the daily time frame. Price traded into about 50% of it and then rejected immediately. But then we're seeing that price is also coming back down. So we could see further points of interest below 50%, which would engineer GBP USD to the downside. So this is where we marked initially, where we wanted to see GBP USD buy from, which is this other block right here. But as it looks, as we're seeing the markets moving back down, we're looking at points of interest around 61.8, and this breakout block caught my attention. So you can see it right here. We might see GBP USD sell into this level before buying back up. So I'm bearish on GBP USD, and I'll be looking to see trade into this level. So I can get rid of this so that I have a clearer markup. All right. Now let's go to the 1 hour time frame. Also on the 1 hour time frame, you can see that GBP USD is bearish, broken minor structure, and then trading back to the downside. So we can start looking out for entries on GBP USD. So right now, GBP USD has cleared this low, the low of Friday. So we might be looking at one more revisit to the low of Friday, which is right here, and then a sell-off on GBP USD. If I see GBP USD give me a decent retracement in this London session or before New York session, I'll be looking to take a sell from here. So this is my point of interest for GBP USD. Once it gets into here, I'll be looking to sell it off from here. But unlike Euro USD that has given us a very clear entry, GBP USD is not so clear, but we know already that we're looking to sell GBP USD for the first part of this week. So we're looking for any entry signature after a retracement, and then we'll be taking a sell on GBP USD. Okay, so I hope these analyses are clear, and I hope that you are able to take advantage of it. Now, as usual, during our market call, we like to engage everyone who is watching, whether you're watching on YouTube or you're watching on Telegram, sorry, from Zoom rather. If you have any question, feel free to ask your question. Also, if you have a contrary view or a supporting view of what we're saying, you can ask your question, or we'll give you a period to unmute your mic, and then we'll be able to hear from you. Okay, so if you have any question whatsoever, feel free to ask your question so that we can get feedback from you to know if we're making sense from all we've been saying, or if you have a contrary view, we can also you can also ask so that we share thoughts with one another, and then make sure that everyone is coming out profitable at the end of the day. So feel free to share any of these if you have anyone as we proceed in the market color. Right now, we're going to go on a very short break. And when we return from the break, we're going to continue our analysis, as we're going to be looking at gold against the dollar. We're going to also be looking at GBP JPY and Euro JPY. Now, let me take a few questions. Okay, gold projection. Like I said, we're going to go on a break, and when we resume, we'll show our analysis for gold. Okay. Now for the Euro USD trade, where we're looking to take TP is, I mentioned the TP point, but I'll mention it again. 1.17200. 1.17200. So right here is where we're expecting to take our take profit on the Euro USD trade. Okay. So I hope this is clear, and I hope everyone is able to take advantage of it, and then make sure that everyone comes out profitable at the end of the day. All right. So I believe I've answered all your questions. Okay. Now, just one, go on this break and then return to continue our analysis on gold. Please, if you know you are in Abuja or you are within and around the city of Abuja, we're going to be having our traders bootcamp. It's our yearly bootcamp where we teach traders beyond the chart how to structure a good trading strategy, how to structure a good trading business, and so many more. And it's also an avenue where we create a room for traders to connect with one another within that particular vicinity where we're holding our bootcamp. So it's going to be a very short time of networking with top Forex mentors and top Forex instructors, and also fellow Forex traders. So make sure you are around on that day. The date is 2nd of August 2025, and the venue is the Pearl Abuja, the Pearl Jabi Abuja. So the time is 9 a.m. Make sure you are there. All of us are going to be there, so make sure you do not miss out on that very wonderful location. Okay, so we're going to go on a very short break, and when we return, we'll continue our analysis with gold against the dollar. So when we return, we'll proceed.
We've been planning for this event for a very long time, and we are happy that it's finally holding. One of the things we're hoping to do is to show you the full side of FX. We want to change the standard of trading in this country. We want to put as much truth into it and show you the good, the bad, and the ugly.
I am very much happy. It's like this boot camp is only for me.
Before the session ended, I gained a lot of insights. I understood a lot of things. I'm just very grateful for this platform because I've never gotten such knowledge for free before.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the Market Call-Up brought to you by the Value Flow Trading team. And this morning, we'll be going straight into the analysis of the precious metal. And from there, we are going to go straight to Japan to see what is going on in Japan with the yen basket. Then we'll just oppose it with the other yen correlated pair. All right, so right now, we'll be going straight into the analysis of the precious metal. Once again, good morning. All right, for the precious metal, first, that was a very great insight from CJ. And just as we know that when we have dollar analysis like that, very concise, it gives us a very good leverage on how we approach the precious metal, because yes, they are both safe haven, and at the same time, whatsoever decision we make on the dollar helps us and also give us an edge on how we trade the precious metal. All right, straight into the chart. If you look at the precious metal on the weekly time frame, you are going to observe that we are still very much bullish, right? Very visible to everyone that we are in a bullish trend for the precious metal. However, we've seen that we've already gotten to a very strong all-time high, which was around the 3,500 level, of which we are still projecting there is high probability for us to still see some other, move to the 3,700 level from different economic insights that we've been seeing so far. However, right now, if you look at what we are having for the past few weeks now, we've been in a consolidation. If you look at the weekly time frame, you are going to see, yes, we are in a consolidation. Price is not breaking the high, neither it's breaking the low clearly to the downside. That just remain in a state of rest, all right, for the precious metal. Okay, so let's move to the daily time frame to confirm what exactly do we have going on the daily time frame. Please, can you hear me loud? Let me know if you can hear me loud and clear, please. All right. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you. I got some chats that you can't hear me. All right, please, if you can't hear me, probably it's your network and you can get that fixed as soon as possible. So on the daily time frame, you can see the trend still remain bullish. However, this consolidation since the month of April is still very much in play. All right, we are not breaking high, neither are we breaking low. However, if you're on our mailing list, what we are expecting to see on the precious metal for this week particularly is a sell to buy, then reverses back into the range because we've not had any fundamental that is going to break out of the range. All right, so if you look at it from the 4-hour time frame, it becomes much more clearer. So you can see how that price is gradually pushing to our POI. Now, what is our POI on the 4-hour time frame? You can see clearly we have the order block seated around this level here, which is the 4-hour order block. So that the market opened yesterday, which was here, we expect that price should sell all the way to the downside. And that is what we are seeing happening right now on the chart. And we are expecting it to trade into this 4-hour order block, just as you can see it here. So when price get to this order block, we look for opportunity to long. Yes, I know price has been respecting this our trend line so far, and you can see the way price did here, just trade out of it before moving all the way back. So that is the same thing we are expecting here, because trend line won't just stop price, neither we are going to see our price, going for a reference point, a very clear reference point, just as we have the 4-hour order block here, and just beneath above the 4-hour order block, we have just the fair value gap inside. So if you go straight again to the 1-hour time frame, you are going to see clearly on the 1-hour time frame that this is also a very clean level that we have there, and with a confluence of a flip zone, you can see this is once a resistance that we expect to come support when price gets there. So we are expecting price to come all the way down. So it still remains just some few more pips for price to get to our POI, where we can look for opportunity to buy the precious metal all the way to the upside. But this is the level we are looking at it. Now let's go to the 15 minutes for more confirmation of our entry. Now, if you look at the 15-minute time frame, everywhere is still very much bearish to the downside. All right, and until we see a confirmation entry, and what is our confirmation entry? We want to see a very clear bullish engulfing, something like this on the 15-minute time frame at our POI. We don't just buy whenever we see this randomly anywhere, but when we see it at our POI, which is at that 4-hour order block or the 1-hour order block and flip zone, then that's going to be a very good level for us to buy it from. Also, if you go back to the 4-hour time frame and you draw your Fibonacci of this particular swing, you are going to observe, yes, this is a swing that took out this high around this level, and if you draw your Fibonacci around that level, it's going to give you a very clear move of what we are expecting. And since we've been seeing dollar strength at the open of the market, so that means we are still expecting price to come all the way to our 60%, 61.8% fib level. All right, so that is where we want to see the precious metal react to the upside from. And that will be the first POI. When we see our entry signature there, we take it. And if price did not react at that level, then we wait for it at the 78.6% fib level. All right, so that is that for the precious metal moving forward today. Let's quickly get to Japan to see what is going on the yen basket. Now for the yen basket, just as we've been saying so far, that we are expecting the yen basket also to pick up from where it is currently, even though we are still expecting some little push to the downside, because what we call the seasonal tendency in market. Sometimes last year in the month of July, you can see July 8th last year, that was when we began to see a very big move of the precious metal, the yen basket, all the way to the upside. And this year too, we are expecting to see the same thing, because overall, if you look at the yen basket, we see a massive sell. But at this point, so last year in July, we see that there was a massive buy to the upside of which we are looking at the second leg of that push to the upside this year, this time of the year again, which is this month, July. Particularly maybe this week or into next week, we are expecting that to happen. And if the buy resumes, we are expecting to buy all the way into this weekly order block with the confluence of this fair value gap here. So when price trades into this particular level, then that is giving us a great insight of what we should see on the other yen correlated pair like GBP, JPY, Euro JPY, and AUD JPY. Yes, we've been seeing some yen correlated pair already getting ready for the sell. However, we want to see the last move on the GBP on the yen basket so that we can follow through for the buy. And where is the last move? You see this double bottom that we have here. We are expecting that price should come and take it out. That is known of the yen basket. When it builds liquidity at a point, just as we have here, we expect price to come and take it out and start moving. And since it already built double bottom here again, we're expecting price to take it out, then we start moving to the upside. So this is our outlook for the yen basket for this week, and we already see how that price is already gradually pushing towards that level. So we may see that play out today into tomorrow, and maybe during the New York session on Tuesday or on Wednesday London session, we may begin a buy of the yen basket, which is going to give us a very clear move of itself on the other yen correlated pair. Now, let's quickly take a look at GBP JPY and to see what exactly is going on GBP JPY. I would like us to look at it right from the weekly time frame, just as we've seen the yen basket on the weekly time frame. Now, for the yen basket, we already see for GBP JPY, you already see the shoulder pattern. This is the shoulder on the weekly time frame particularly, and we expect that price to still, rally all the way to take out also these liquidity levels here and trade properly into this level. So when price trades to this point, then we can easily start selling. However, there's something going on Euro JPY, because we see that the Euro pair generally for the past few weeks now has been strong, but we expect the Euro for this week to pull back a bit, to reduce that strength, to come down a bit. And if that is what we are seeing happening for GBP JPY, we already see, just as we analyzed GBP USD as CJ analyzed it earlier on, that we are looking forward to see the short of it. The same thing is most likely to play out for GBP JPY too, but there is high tendency for us for GBP JPY. We see just a little buy to sell. But if the buy to sell happens first, meaning we see the buy all the way to this shoulder, then the momentum for the sell will be very, very high, because there will be a very lot of momentum for GBP JPY. And this is just on the weekly time frame. But if you see it from the daily time frame perspective, we already see, yes, we are seeing more like a market structure shift on the daily time frame perspective, because this is the last low before this high, and we see a change of character already on the GBP JPY on daily time frame, to be specific. All right, so if you go to your 4-hour time frame to see what exactly is playing on right now, we are most likely we are going to see that price is a bit currently at a shoulder level, and we see that reaction sometimes last week Thursday to the downside, but we did not see the follow through momentum, and that is telling us that because of what we are still expecting on the yen basket, there is most high probability for us to still see a little bit push of GBP JPY to the upside for the yen basket, also for it to balance that way, knowing fully well that when we see any move on the yen basket for GBP JPY, we are most likely to see the inverse of that move. Now, what is the now trade for the GBP JPY? Let's look at it from the daily time frame. Now, the daily time frame is still telling us clearly that yes, we already see market structure shift to the downside. However, we are seeing price pushing all the way to the upside again. Now, what exactly is the point? We are expecting price to most likely trade all the way into this 1-hour order block, of which we see last week Thursday how the price traded into that fair value gap before the order block. But I'm still of the opinion that price is coming all the way here and even still take out this order block here and this liquidity. Then at this point where we have most confluence at this top here, where we see the tussle between the buyers and the sellers, and the seller took over, then we may likely see the sellers also at this point push to the downside again. But let's see what plays out on the yen basket, which is going to give us the pre-information that we need to know for the GBP JPY. But the now trade of GBP JPY, we look at it from the 15-minute time frame, is telling us more that yes, we already see market structure shift to the upside, so we should look for opportunity to long more to the upside. So if we want to long that all the way to the upside, where can we do it? On the 15-minute time frame, and that is going to be this for us. Then we'll be looking to long GBP JPY at this particular spot here at this fair value gap and this shoulder, because we already see the sweep of this liquidity here and the break. So where we are going to long GBP JPY is at this point when price gets to this level. These are the 196.918 level. Then we look out for opportunity to long GBP JPY. All right, and we follow through to the upside. Okay, so let's quickly get to EUR JPY to see what is going on there. It is so amazing how that what we are seeing on GBP JPY, EUR JPY is very, very fast, and that is one thing about the pair that we have all the way here. So let's quickly see EUR JPY from the weekly time frame. Now look at what we are seeing on EUR JPY on the weekly time frame compared to GBP JPY on the weekly time frame, which is telling us that euro is very strong currently. And as we have seen how that price traded into the shoulder of the euro JPY right now, but for GBP JPY, price has not really gotten to that POI. That is why we are looking for opportunity to, long GBP JPY till it gets there. But for euro JPY, that it already gets to its POI here, two things we are expecting to see this week. There's a tendency for price to start selling immediately after the yen basket achieves its own target. We are going to see the sell-off of euro JPY. However, there is also the probability for us to see it range because it already gets to its own bust stop. All right, so for it to wait for the other yen correlated pair to achieve their own objective too. So two things for euro JPY for this week. There's high tendency we see it just range at this level, or we see it sell off. Those are the two probability we have because price already got to this shoulder level. So it may be waiting for the other yen correlated pair, or we see it sell off ahead of them. All right, so to the daily time frame, just as we've seen, it's very much bullish all the way to the upside. So on the 4-hour time frame, it's still very much bullish. We are still in a bullish momentum, particularly this last few hours candle that we see here is very much bullish. So what we should also be looking out for on the GBP euro JPY is we will go to our lower time frame. Let's see on 1 hour, you can see even 1 hour is giving us a confirmation of a bullish move. However, I wish that this Asian low takes out the low of Friday. Then we are going to say, okay, want to follow through. But right now, where price is, we can only get our confirmation for the entry on the 15-minute time frame. Now, for the 15-minute time frame, two things. One thing particularly that I'm seeing on the 15-minute time frame for euro JPY is price already took out liquidity at this point, but we have double bottom here. So two things. We should wait for price to pull all the way back first into this level, just as we have here. And we have our fair value gap just resting here. So when price gets here and we see a signature for a buy, we can easily buy, or we allow price to come and take out this low, equal low, relative equal low that we have here. Allow price to take it out. When price takes out this relative equal low, then we can now look for the opportunity to start buying all the way back up. And reason why I am looking at it from that perspective is since we have relative equal lows at 3 different points here, 1, 2, 3, most people would want to buy with their stop loss just below here. All right, but the market also sees far ahead, so better we just wait, allow price to take out every stop losses resting below here, then when you see that signature for the buy momentum playing out in the market, then we can easily follow through. But buying from this point is a low probability trade, and at the same time it can play out because we see the tussle between buyers and sellers, of which sellers take over and buyers liquidate them back. All right, so that is that for the EUR JPY. And lastly, for AUD JPY, you can see on right from the weekly time frame too for AUD JPY, you see what is still happening. It still have a very long way to go. However, we already have a very clear move that is a bit bearish to the downside right now. So we want to see it sell more. All right. So if you look at it on the daily time frame too, daily time frame is also telling us there's no full momentum for the follow through of AUD JPY to the upside. Instead, just let's wait until we see proper momentum pull in the market, or until we see what plays out on the yen basket, and we can easily follow through for AUD JPY. Now, what is the now trade for AUD JPY on the 15-minute time frame? The 15-minute time frame is still also telling us that our price still has most momentum to go back down. Although we see our price took out Thursday low, and which is giving us a very clean false pattern here. This is the shoulder, the sweep, and this is the break, because this particular high did not break this. This is the break, but at the Asian low, price already took out liquidity at the shoulder level, and we see the momentum for the buy. So until we see, let's look out for the buy opportunities for AUD JPY too. Yes, although we see one somewhere around this place, but I would advise we may want to see if price is going to push a little bit down to take out this low, then we can easily follow through. Or you may want to go to your 5-minute time frame to see if we have inside of structure. Okay, and this is it. On 5 minutes, I don't see anything like that. So today, leave AUD JPY, or if you will just want to long it somewhere around this level, if price pull back to this other block, and you can easily follow through for AUD JPY. But the most preferred trade for today happens to be GBP JPY for the yen basket, and also EUR JPY if it takes out the liquidity. So I'm going to be stopping here. If there's any question, you can easily type in the chat box, and let's quickly look at it together. Oh, just as we've said earlier, we can't wait to have every one of us on this call at the Traders Bootcamp happening in the city of Abuja, right? So we can connect more, and at the same time, you learn more about trading and also the industry at large, okay? So till we meet, if there's no question, till we meet again by 2 p.m. for the New York recap, make sure you trade cautiously and use your proper risk management strategy. I'm Lekon Shemi. Cheers and God bless.
We've been planning for this event for a very long time, and we are happy that it's finally holding. One of the things we're hoping to do is to show you the full side of FX. We want to change the standard of trading in this country. We want to put as much truth into it and show you the good, the bad, and the ugly.
I am very much happy. It's like this bootcamp is only for me.
Before the session ended, I gained a lot of insight. I understood a lot of things. I'm just very grateful for this platform because I've never gotten such knowledge for free before.
We've been planning for this event for a very long time, and we are happy that it's finally holding. One of the things we're hoping to do is to show you the full side of FX. We want to change the standard of trading in this country. We want to put as much truth into it and show you the good, the bad, and the ugly.
I am very much happy. It's like this boot camp is only for me.
Before the session ended, I gained a lot of insight. I understood a lot of things. I'm just very grateful for this platform because